Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Janavala Bhagavadari Gopi Janavala Bhagavadari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Janavala Bhagavadari Jaya Gopi Janavala Bhagavadari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Janavala Bhagavadari Jaya Gopi Janavalla Bhagavadari Gopi Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gaur Premanande Jaya Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Astutar Sutta Sri Śrīmad His Divine Grace Srila Bhai Charnarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jaya Jaya Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Astutar Sutta Sri Śrīmad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jaya Srila Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jaya Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jaya Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Ki Jai Shri Shri Gaur-Nitai Ki Jai Shri Shri Krishna Balaram Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Shyam Sundar Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru, Shri Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tanda, cool. Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, chapter 3. Everyone can put their cell phones on silent mode, please. Kripaya cell phone silent mode. Karenge. English is good, right? Sabhi log English samajhte? Yeah? Classes in English. Good. I don't speak Hindi, so it's a good thing. Chapter 3, Karma Yoga, text number 28. Please repeat after me. tattva-vit mahā-bāho. Tattva-vit mahā-bāho. Guṇa-karma-vibhāgayoḥ. Guṇa-karma-vibhāgayoḥ. Guṇā guṇeṣu vartanta. Guṇā guṇeṣu vartanta. Iti matvā na sajjate. Iti matvā na sajjate. Before we go on, I just have a question about the Sanskrit pronunciation. We see in the second line here, guṇa-karma-vibhāgayoḥ, correct? So the last H has a dot underneath it. That's called visarga. Visarga, correct? And before the visarga is the letter O. So if I understand correctly, and please let me know, the pronunciation would be vibhāgayoḥ. Is correct? Vibhāgayoḥ. Okay? Let's try it again. Tattva-vit mahā-bāho. Guṇa-karma-vibhāgayoḥ. Now some are saying yo, and some are saying yoho. So which is correct? Yoho. So let's all try to say yoho. 1, 2, 3. Yoho. Okay. Tattva-vit mahā-bāho. Guṇa-karma-vibhāgayoḥ. Okay. Guṇā guṇeṣu vartanta. Iti matvā na sajjate. Please chant. Tattva-vit mahā-bāho. Vibhāgayoḥ. guṇeṣu vartanta. Iti matvā na sajjate. Tattva-vit mahā-bāho. Guṇa-karma-vibhāgayoḥ. Guṇā guṇeṣu vartanta. Iti matvā na sajjate. Tattva-vit mahā-bāho. Guṇa-karma-vibhāgayoḥ. Guṇā guṇeṣu vartanta. Iti matvā na sajjate. Tattva-vit mahā-bāho. Guṇa-karma-vibhāgayoḥ. Guṇā guṇeṣu vartanta. Iti matvā na sajjate. Tattva-vit mahā-bāho. Guṇa-karma-vibhāgayoḥ. Guṇā guṇeṣu vartanta. Iti matvā na sajjate. Tattva-vit mahā-bāho. Guṇa-karma-vibhāgayoḥ. Guṇā guṇeṣu vartanta. Iti matvā na sajjate. Tattva-vit, the knower of the absolute truth. To but mahā-bāho, O mighty armed one. Guṇa-karma, of works, under material influence. Vibhāgayoḥ, differences. Guṇāḥ, senses. guṇeṣu, in sense gratification, vartante, are being engaged, iti, thus, matvā, thinking, na, never, sajjate, becomes attached. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Abhay Charnarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: one who is in knowledge of the absolute truth, O mighty armed, does not engage himself in the senses and sense gratification, knowing well the differences between work in devotion and work for fruitive results. Please repeat after me. One who is in knowledge of the absolute truth, O mighty armed, does not engage himself in the senses and sense gratification, knowing well the differences between work in devotion and work for fruitive results. Purport: the knower of the absolute truth is convinced of his awkward position in material association. He knows that he is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kṛṣṇa, and that his position should not be in the material creation. He knows his real identity as part and parcel of the Supreme, who is eternal bliss and knowledge, and he realizes that somehow or other he is entrapped in the material conception of life. In his pure state of existence, he is meant to dovetail his activities in devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kṛṣṇa. He therefore engages himself in the activities of Kṛṣṇa consciousness and becomes naturally unattached to the activities of the material senses, which are all circumstantial and temporary. He knows that his material condition of life is under the supreme control of the Lord. Consequently, he is not disturbed by all kinds of material reactions, which he considers to be the mercy of the Lord. According to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, one who knows the absolute truth in three different features, namely Brahman, Paramātmā, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is called tattva-vit, for he knows also his own factual position in relation with the Supreme. Once again the verse, tattva-vit tu mahā-bāho, guṇa-karma-vibhāgayoḥ, guṇā-guṇeṣu vartanta, iti matvā na sajjate. Om jnānatmandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshur unmilitam jena tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya manobishtam stapitam yena bhutale svayam rupa kadamayam tadati svapadantikam vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajata Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sandhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute, Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Vrishabhanu Sute Devi, Pranamami Hari Priye, Vanshakalpatrabhyascha, Kripa Sindubhya Evacha, Patitanam Bhavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So it is my great honor and pleasure to be here this evening, here in ISKCON Vrindavan, in Sri Vrindavan Dham. Haribol. I wonder if you can bring one of these asans and put it under the mridanga, so we have a mridanga asan. That would be good. So we're reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 3, Karma Yoga, text number 28. Before I begin speaking, I seek the blessings of all the Vaishnavas that I can speak for my own purification. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. So this chapter is called Karma Yoga, third chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And Karma Yoga talks about work in Krishna consciousness. Yoga means to connect with Krishna. And one of those means of connection is by working for Krishna. Thus Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Yat karoshi yadashnasi, Yat karoshi yadashnasi, Yat chahosi dadasiyat, Yat chahosi dadasiyat, Yat tapasyasi kunteya, Yat tapasyasi kunteya, Tat karushva mad arpanam, Tat karushva mad arpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, whatever you give away in charity, whatever austerities you perform, do that as an offering unto me, Lord Krishna says. This is the 9th chapter, text number 25. So in this way, Lord Krishna is explaining that we should work for him. We should do our activities for him. And of all of our activities that we do, the activity that pleases Krishna the most is to always remember him, become his devotee, worship him, offer our obeisances up to him. This is the highest form of work for Krishna. And this work for Krishna in full Krishna consciousness becomes Bhakti Yoga, the highest platform of Krishna consciousness. Manmana bhavamat bhakto Madhyajimam namaskuru Mami vashasi satyam te Pratijane priyosi me. Always think of me, worship me, offer your obeisances unto me, become my devotee. In this way, surely you'll come to me. I'm telling you this because you are my very dear friend. Krishna is saying in the 18th chapter, text number 65 of Bhagavad Gita. And then the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita, 1866. Sarva dharman prityaja Mamekam sharanam vraja Aham tvam sarva papebhyo Mokshayishami ma suchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I will protect you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. So this is our ultimate goal, that we want to abandon all activities and just surrender unto Krishna. Yesterday we celebrated the Vyasa Puja of His Holiness Lokanath Swami Maharaj. And this is the perfection of life. We have an opportunity to surrender to Krishna through Krishna's representative. And that process is given in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, text 34. Tad-vidhi pranipatena parishprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva-darshanaha. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, render service unto him, inquire from him submissively. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. Now in this section of Bhagavad Gita, in today's verse, Lord Krishna is explaining that who is in knowledge of the absolute truth and what is their activity. How do we know who has knowledge of the absolute truth? So we see as a result of this knowledge, number one, they do not engage themselves in the senses and sense gratification. So this is called indriya tripti, that a person who is engaged in self-realization does not engage in sense gratification. Indriya tripti. So there's a nice verse in Bhagavad Gita. Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam, Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam, Taya parita chetasam, Vyavasayatmika buddhir. What is it? Samado navadiyate. That a person, Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam, a person who's engaged in bhoga, in sensual enjoyment, Aishwarya, in opulence, material opulence, Bhogaishwarya prasakta, if they're attached to this, Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam, tayapa chetasam, if their consciousness is just polluted and absorbed in material sense gratification, then the resolute determination for devotional service does not take place. So it's very, very dangerous to engage in sense gratification. Srila Prabhupada said that sense gratification and Krishna consciousness goes ill together. The word ill means sick, bimar. If you're sick, you're ill. So having sense gratification and Krishna consciousness together, it's sick. It doesn't happen. It's a bimar. It's sickness. So we want to be healthy. So how to be healthy? You take the medicine and you take the diet. So the medicine is the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And the diet is Sri Krishna Prasadam. Sri Krishna Prasadam ki jai. So this is a powerful process. The holy name, Harinam Sankirtan, as we see this beautiful picture of Lord Chaitanya dancing in the association of his associates. He's showing us the example of the medicine of today. Krishnadas Kaviraj, he writes about how Lord Chaitanya Vaidyam Ashraya, he calls Chaitanya Mahaprabhu the supreme doctor. And he says, I am being bitten by the germs of material existence. I'm burning from the boils of envy, but taking shelter in the ocean of humility, I surrender to Chaitanya Vaidyam Ashraya. I take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we should take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by engaging in the Yuga Dharma, the chanting of the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Also in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna writes about how sense gratification is very, very dangerous because dukkha yonaiva evate. It is the yoni, the birthplace of dukkha, of suffering. Yehi samsparsha jaboga, yehi samsparsha jaboga, dukkha yonaiva evate, yadantavanta konteya. Nateshu ramate buddhaha. So buddhaha means one who is intelligent, and na means not. So an intelligent person, ramate, will not try to enjoy material sense gratification. Why? Yehi samsparasha ja boga. Because the boga, the material sense gratification, janma, is born from sparsha, from the contact of the senses with the sense objects. Yehi tu samsparsha ja boga dukkha yonaiva evate, that as a result, dukkha, suffering, is born. So, yehi tu samsparsha ja boga dukkha yonaiva evate, yadantavanta konteya na teshu ramate buddhaha. Intelligent person will not participate in sense gratification. So it's like if you have a fire is burning on the stove, you may have a sign, danger, don't touch the fire. But sometimes we touch the fire, we get burned. So this instruction from Krishna is the same way, is a warning to us. Don't touch the fire of sense gratification, because if we do, we're going to get burned. We're going to experience dukkha and suffering. So all of us are looking for happiness. We're not looking for unhappiness. We're looking for sukh. We're not looking for dukkha. So we should engage in devotional service, because devotional service will give us sukh, happiness, and sense gratification will ultimately give us dukkha, suffering. What tastes like nectar in the beginning tastes like poison in the end. And what tastes like poison in the beginning will taste like nectar in the end. So it's very important we take this Krishna conscious process very seriously. Srila Prabhupada concludes the purport by quoting from the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And we're reading today one lecture from Srila Prabhupada on this very verse. And Srila Prabhupada stresses this verse from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Vedanti tattva-vidas tattvayats jnanamadvayam brahmeti Paramātmeti bhagavaniti sajjate. So this verse from the Bhagavatam explains how those who are learned, Vedanti tattva, what is it? Vedanti tattva-vidas. Those that are Vedanti, those have vidya, have knowledge, who know tattva, they know the truth. Vedanti tattva-vidas. Tattva yad jnanam advayam. They know this jnanam, they have this knowledge that's advayam, it's one. Brahmeti Paramātmeti Bhagavan iti sajjate. That the Supreme Lord is known in three aspects: Brahman, Paramātmā, and Bhagavan. So we have to understand the different aspects of the Lord, that actually it's all one aspect. It's all the Lord, but the Lord is exhibiting three different aspects. So we can understand Brahman is the all-pervading, impersonal aspect of the Lord, that the Lord is in every atom and in between every atom everywhere. He's everywhere, all-pervading. So I was reading in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam that the word Om, the Omkar, Om, this Om, it represents the impersonal aspect of the Supreme Absolute Truth, Brahman. And the second aspect is the Paramātmā. Paramātmā is the Lord residing in the heart as the localized supersoul. And then in the heart of every living entity. And then the third aspect is Bhagavan, the Supreme Absolute Truth, who is in his own planet, in his own abode. So this can be described in a very interesting way in a story. The story is of, happened in Africa. That in Africa, they were building some train. There was a new train coming. And the African tribes, they heard that something was coming. What is coming? A train. Okay, good. So the African tribe leader, he sent out 2 men, go and find out what this train is. So they had to run many kilometers, and they reached the train tracks, and they saw the train tracks, and they waited, and it was at night, and then suddenly the train was coming from the distance, and they heard a sound. And they saw a light. And they saw, oh wow, this is amazing. And they ran back to the tribe and they told the tribe leader, we saw the train. We saw the train. The train is a sound. And the train is a light. And the tribe leader was saying, okay, very good, very good. But maybe there's more information. And he sent 2 more men to run out next day. Next day they ran, it was night, they reached, they waited, and then they heard a sound. They saw a light, and then this train, they saw so many bogies, so many cars on the train. It was huge, like a big, big car. And they ran back to the tribe, and they said, oh, we saw the train. It was a sound, it was a light, and it was a big car. And the leader said, very good, but maybe there's more information. So the next day he sent 2 more men, and they ran all day, and they came to the tracks, and it became night. And at night they heard a sound, and they saw a light, and there was a whistle, woo, woo. And they saw the huge car, and they jumped on the bogie, and they saw people inside the train reading newspapers with their children, and they saw chaiwalas, chai, even in Africa, right? Everywhere. And they went running back to the leader, and they said, oh, we saw the train. It was a light. It was a sound. It was a big car. And inside there were so many people reading newspapers with their children and having chai. And the leader said, very good. This is the full understanding of what is the train. So this same story can be attributed to Brahmeti, Paramātmā, Bhagavan, iti sajjate. At the Supreme Lord, he's one, but he exhibits different aspects of himself. The all-pervading Brahman, the localized Paramātmā, and the Supreme Lord, Kṛṣṇa, that is the Bhagavan realization. So it is very important that we cultivate this knowledge of bhakti, because Krishna says only by bhakti can I be known in truth. Bhaktyamam abhijananti Yavanyas-chaspi tattva-tah tatomam tattvato gyatva vishate tadanantaram. Krishna says, only by bhakti can I be known in truth. And when one knows me in truth, one, instead of coming back to this material world, he can go back to the spiritual world. So this process of bhakti, shravanam, kirtanam, vishnu smaranam, padasevanam, archanam, vandanam, dasyam, sakyam, atmanivedanam. These 9 processes of bhakti we should practice, and especially put emphasis on the yuga dharma, the loud chanting of the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So here Krishna is telling Arjuna he should avoid attachment to the senses and the sense gratification, and he should work in devotion, not for getting some fruitive results for sense gratification. Hare Krishna. Are there any questions or comments? Yes, Prabhu?
This concept of bhoga and tyag
Bhoga and tyag.
is discussed by Srila Prabhupada. And also one place Prabhupada says, what the Bhagavatam verse says, that engaging in some sense gratification, a lot of it, then ultimately it becomes detestable.
Yeah, just one question. Do we have a microphone for him? No? Let me repeat your question because I believe we have an online audience. Okay? So he's saying that Prabhupada mentions that at one point attachment for sense gratification becomes detestable.
By engaging in too much sense gratification.
By engaging in too much sense gratification.
Ultimately becomes detestable.
Ultimately becomes detestable. So this is your comment, you're sharing with us this statement from Srila Prabhupada?
I fear anyways, the point is, if we engage in anyone engages in sense gratification.
If we engage in sense gratification,
of which there's a chance,
it
looks like you just won't be able to come out of it.
It looks like we just won't be able to come out of it.
You got my point.
Yeah, that's your comment. Yeah, sense gratification is like a rope binding us. Guṇa means a rope binding us. This material world is called Durga. Durga is a prison house. So we're bound here. And what is binding us? What are the shackles? Srila Prabhupada says the sense gratification, the sex life especially. This is the shackles that bind us to the material world. So we ultimately need to attain a higher taste. Param dristva nivartate. Vishaya vinivartante. Vishaya niraharasya dehinaha. Rasartvarjam rasopyasya. Param drisva nivartate. That it's very difficult to give up the sense gratification. But Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasavarjam rasopyasya. If we get a higher taste, param drisva nivartate, then we can give up the lower taste. One example I like to give, it's called the khichdi example. One time I was cooking khichdi in Pandharpur in the kitchen. Then I traveled to Pune for 3 days. Coming back, I said, let me cook a little extra khichdi, so when I come back, I'll have something to eat. I kept it in the fridge. There was a power cut, and the fridge was gone. And I came back, and the khichdi was smelling bad and turning different colors, and fungus is coming. But I was so hungry, I wanted to eat that khichdi. So I started eating it. But my friend Somya, he said, stop, you'll get sick. Don't eat that. And he tried to pull it away from me. And we're having like a tug of war. He's trying to keep the khichdi, he's taking the khichdi. And he said, wait, I'll be right back. And he ran to Govinda's restaurant. He came back with a full thali, fresh rice, dal, sabji, chapatis, rasgullas. And he said, take this. And I said, okay. And I took that fresh, hot prasadam and started to eat that. And he took the khichdi away from me. And I did not object at all that the khichdi left. So similarly, children, if they're playing with something dangerous like a knife, you try to take the knife away from the child will cry. But if we give the child a candy or a toffee or a toy or some ball, the children will easily give up that knife. So sense gratification is like that. It's difficult for us to give up. But if we get something better, if we get something that's better, that gives us more happiness, more satisfaction than that sense gratification, then we can give it up. Therefore, we're so grateful to Srila Prabhupada for giving us ISKCON, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, where we can come together and by collectively hearing and chanting together, practicing devotional service together, honoring prasadam together, we can get that happiness and satisfaction, param dristva vartante, and give up the sense gratification. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada said, anyone who tries to practice Krishna consciousness alone is only experiencing a hallucination. Hallucination means a dream, a mirage, just Brahm, illusion. But together we can practice Krishna consciousness and we can get a higher taste and give up that sense gratification. Otherwise, impossible. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Maharaj, it was perfect.
Oh, very good. Thank you so much. Do we have anything else before we conclude? Yes, last point. I was told to finish at 6:55 because there's a meeting in here at 7. Go ahead.
Krishna, thank you so much for that. Maharaj, I really wanted to ask that earlier when we come to Krishna consciousness, a lot of services that we are doing are based on if we enjoy them or not. So how do we get out of the point where the services we are doing are not indirectly sense gratification? That is what I
Let me see if I understand your question properly. You're saying that when we originally come to Krishna consciousness, then we are offered certain services, and we tend to be selective and choose those services that appeal to us, that we think will be happy and enjoy. And it's an enjoying mentality. So how to overcome this mentality of trying to enjoy the devotional service in a selfish way? Is that your question? I remember sitting in Radha Gopinath temple kitchen in Chopati, and one devotee, Kaustubha Prabhu from New York, had come, and his service was he's from an Italian background, and his service was to teach the devotees in the Govinda's restaurant how to make authentic Italian pizza. And for days, he sat outside the kitchen in a chair as pizza after pizza after pizza after pizza was brought to him for the taste test. So that was his service, to see if it would be authentic. So this is a good example of the kind of service we might like to have, right? Who here would like to have a service like that? Sit outside the kitchen, taste test the pizza day after day. Tough service, yes. But then we see examples of devotees doing service like His Grace Jayananda Prabhu, a very famous disciple of Srila Prabhupada, Jayananda, who is famous as like the transcendental garbage man, that every day he would take out the garbage from the kitchen and he would wash the pots and he would just always be cleaning. And sometimes if you couldn't find him, he'd be underneath one of the cars or the trucks, fixing the car with like the oil from the car dripping down on him. But it was so blissful, it was so amazing that His Holiness Keshava Bharati Maharaj came as a new person to the temple and associated with Jayananda Prabhu. And he said, if the garbage man is so blissful, what about the rest of the devotees? And he joined just because of that. He was just so impressed. So one who attains a higher state of Krishna consciousness, it doesn't matter what it is that we do for Krishna. If Krishna is pleased, then we'll feel that satisfaction. As you pour water into the root of the tree, all the leaves and fruits and flowers are automatically nourished. So as our quality of our devotional service becomes more and more pure, then we'll experience that higher taste when we serve Krishna and the spiritual master. Yasyat prasadat Bhagavat prasado Yasyat prasadat Nagativ kutopi Dayam stuvam tasya yasyastri sandhyam Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam So by pleasing the spiritual master, Krishna is pleased, and when Krishna is pleased, then naturally happiness and satisfaction will manifest in our hearts. Does that answer your question? Thank you so much. Thank you all for joining us this evening. We're grateful to all of you for your kind association. We'll end here. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavad Gītā ki jai. Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai.